Welcome back. I'm James Kimber. I'm a physician assistant and founder of PA Mentor, bringing you the best tips and tools you'll need to get into a PA program. On this channel, we do a lot of strategy videos for pre-PA students applying to a PA program, as well as successful applicants who we have helped through the process, and some practicing PAs who currently work with our group. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe below and stay up to date with the latest videos that we put out. And if at any time you're interested in some other program that we haven't already covered, want more information about a personal statement, mock interview, or some general advice, leave us a comment below and we'll get back to you right away.
Welcome to Physician Assistant Mentor Online.
Okay, today I got my new t-shirt from Pacific University, and of course, as you could already tell, we're interviewing a student who got in recently to the Pacific University Physician Assistant program. Ashlan came to us initially to work on her personal statement, and then we helped her through the mock interview process, and she'll be starting school soon, but we'll let her tell her story. Okay, well, I want to welcome you to another one of our interviews. We're talking to Ashlan, who we worked with her on her mock interview, and Ashlan got into a PA program. She's graciously accepted our invitation for our interview. So if you can tell us your name and the school or the PA program that you got into.
I'm Ashlan, and I got into Pacific University.
Great, congratulations. I know you're excited and ready for that.
Yep, I'm excited.
Was this your first time applying to a PA program?
Yeah, it was my first time.
Okay, so tell us about, where did you become interested in medicine? Where does that come from?
Well, it kind of started, I'd say like my freshman, sophomore year. I thought I wanted to do the bioengineering route and work on like new MRIs and that kind of stuff, but I ended up wanting to work with patients more. So then I thought PT would be good since I was really into sports. And then from there, I didn't really like PT as much. And then one of the PTs at the clinic that I worked at suggested that I look into PA. And that's kind of where it started.
Okay. So assuming that was the first time that you had ever heard of the PA field?
Yeah, correct. That was my senior year.
And then what did you think about that when they first told you about PA? So did you look it up on your own, or did they tell you more about it?
She kind of told me about it because she said that she was interested in doing that, but she ended up ultimately doing PT, but she wishes that she'd done PA. And then I looked it up more and got more into it and did more research on it to find out.
Okay. Where did you go to college?
I went to the University of Washington.
And do you feel that your time there met all the requirements that you needed to get into a PA program?
Yeah, so I hit most of my prerequisites there, but it's kind of interesting because University of Washington doesn't offer the human anatomy 1 and 2 sequence. So, and a lot of schools wanted that as prerequisites, so I had to take that at North Seattle College, a community college in the area after I graduated.
Okay, I see. And were there any problems getting into those classes?
No, it was fairly easy, especially, coming from UW, I already had all the biology series and chemistry series done, so I just called North Seattle, applied really quickly, and they took me. It was pretty simple for community college.
Did you have any difficulties with science courses, say like your biochem or OChem, micro?
Yeah, I actually didn't take biochem or organic chemistry labs, so the biggest one that I had issues with was physics, but not every program has that, but I really did not like physics, and I did not do super great at that.
Okay. Did you end up taking the GRE?
I did take it.
And how did you prepare for that?
I used the Kaplan book. I got it off Amazon it's pretty cheap, and then I got the Kaplan vocabulary terms with it, and then with those comes like an app that you can learn the vocabulary for it. Mm-hmm. So I kind of just did the practice sets and practice tests in that book.
Was the GRE required by all the programs that you applied to?
No, only 4 or 5 actually.
Okay. And then through your research, PA, you probably shadowed PAs, right?
Yeah.
And how did you go about finding PAs to shadow?
Actually, I owe my mom this. My mom's actually the one who set me up with all three of them because she's a personal trainer and her clients just happen to be doctors and PAs. So she just asked them if anyone was willing to be shadowed and then kind of got their contact information and I emailed them and got it set up. And then the other one that I shadowed, he was actually the PA for my mom after her wrist surgery. And she told him about me and he was like, she should come shadow.
What about your clinical healthcare experience? How did you obtain those hours?
Well, when I first wanted to be, I thought when I wanted to do a PT, I looked into becoming a physical therapy aide. And so I did that. And then it was nice that those hours also counted for physician assistant school. So, but yeah, I got all my hours from being a physical therapy aide.
What strengths do you think you had going into a PA program or applying to PA school?
Like application-wise?
Sure.
I had a good GPA, which helped. It was easy to kind of find programs that I hit that minimum GPA for. And I'd already taken a lot of the prerequisites early on because my major was biology. So it's nice to have a science major that hits all of those. And I had really good relationships, and I kept those relationships with my the people who wrote my letters of rec, even in college. Like, because I took a gap year after I graduated before I applied, and I just stayed in contact with the people who I wanted to write me letters of rec, like my professors and stuff, just sending them an email, which was nice. So I think that they had me in their brain, so they knew who they were writing about.
What about any struggles that you encountered, like school, getting the clinical hours, shadowing? Well, I mean, your mom helped you out with the shadowing, but
I didn't have to do much for that.
were the things that you found, difficult balancing all of this at one time?
Yeah, I mean, I started working at the physical therapy clinic my junior year of college, and that was pretty hard. Just because I was doing volunteering and like 2 research things while taking class, and I was also in a sorority, so I had a lot going on at once. It's kind of hard to balance, but you kind of make it work. And the place that I was working at as a physical therapy aide, it was a far commute from UW, so every day I'd have to plan on commuting at least like 30 minutes to an hour to get to the clinic.
Okay. What things do you think you did to make yourself competitive? So what was your GPA?
I think finishing just at UW, I think my GPA was 3.75. And then the classes at community college were like 4.0s for the human anatomy. Like my high GPAs were mostly like all my biology classes, which I think helped. So my science GPA was pretty high. And then, I mean, just getting a lot of various experience. So I worked at the physical therapy clinic. I made sure that I had at least 2,000 hours before I applied to the schools.
Okay.
And all my research and volunteering wasn't medical related, so I think that they saw that I was could do a variation of things. All my research was very different from the medical field.
Tell us about the volunteer experience or your hours.
Yeah, I volunteered for 6 months at a humane society because I like animals and dogs.
Okay.
And then I also worked. One of my research projects was biology education research, and then my other research project was biology conservation, it's like wildlife conservation.
Wow, that is
Really
pretty diverse.
Yeah.
How many programs did you apply to?
13.
Okay. And out of the programs that you interviewed with, that you applied to, how many did you get interviewed?
So I've had 2 interview requests. I'm still waiting to hear back from 5 schools.
Okay. But you're pretty much set on where you're going.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you go about picking the programs?
I started off with location. I wanted to stay on the West Coast. That's where my family and friends were. So I kind of looked through all the states around there, like Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona, and picked the schools that matched my prerequisites and that you can see like the statistics of past students, like their incoming class, and I made sure that I hit at least the average or above the average for all those. That's kind of how it started. And then some school, it's kind of weird because I found that some schools, their prerequisites had like, a lot of them had organic chemistry lab and biochem, which I didn't take. So I had to cancel all those out because I didn't really want to take them. But a lot of schools just wanted physics, biology, and chemistry. And those are the ones that I applied to.
Tell us about your Kasper experience. I mean, did you fill out Kasper right when it opened, or did you wait a little while?
So I started it right when it opened. I started the easy stuff, like your personal information, like writing about your experiences and shadowing and stuff, because that was relatively easy. And then I had the personal statement, obviously was very hard, which you helped me on. And that was what took a while, was that and like supplemental questions from each program. Mm-hmm. So I didn't finish until, I think I was verified on like July 7th.
We hear from a lot of students that it's a lot of it's just very time consuming getting all that information into Kasper.
Yeah, and I definitely went over it a million times to make sure my grammar and everything was good.
Good. Okay. So since you mentioned it, tell us about your personal statement. What difficulties did you have doing that?
I honestly had no idea what to write about, and I didn't really know. There were people that gave me a bunch of tips. So I got tips from one of the people who wrote my letter of rec, but she has a PhD in immunology, so very different personal statement that she had to write for her program. Mm-hmm. So a bunch of different people giving me tips, but none of them really like PAs. So it was kind of hard to mash all that together and know what not to say and what to say, but also making it personal too.
Right. So looking back on the application process, were there things that you wish you had done better, or you might have changed, or feel like you made any mistakes that you might have made?
Honestly, just like when I finished, I knew that I was going to apply, and you know that it opens in April, and I'd taken my GRE pretty early. Starting that personal statement and stuff early and knowing what you're going to write about, because the personal statement stays the same. Like, why do you want to be a physician assistant? And I could have gotten it done way earlier and just submitted my Kasper way earlier if I'd already had it done.
So this is usually the part that most of the students, other applicants are looking forward to, is what tips do you have for anyone else that's now looking to pursue a career as a PA and going to be applying next cycle?
Oh yeah, I've got some of those. So other than start like working on your personal statement early, definitely use your guys' thing, because I don't think I would have gotten an interview if I hadn't had you edit my personal statement or done the mock interview. I don't think I would have been prepared, and I probably would have said stuff that I shouldn't have said. Yeah. Okay. So that's part of it. Don't worry too much about the GRE. I interviewed with a bunch of people who said that they bombed the GRE, but then said that they got a bunch of interviews from schools that took the GRE, and they still got it accepted. So, I mean, I spent a long time studying for it, and I did good, but it's not a huge deal, and they don't put a lot of focus on that, I'd say. As long as you're getting like 150 for each one, I think you're fine. And then I guess the last thing, don't let anyone tell you that you can't apply. I had a counselor my senior year of college, because I was asking him about switching from PT to PA, and like the process and the difficulties for going that. And he told me that was nearly impossible. I don't know why he said that to me, but he's like, you won't be able to do it, and it'll take a long time before you apply. And I took one gap year and got in, so don't let people tell you that you can't do it. Good. I mean, that's literally what happened. I went to him twice, the same guy. I went to him earlier on when I wanted to do PT, and he kind of said the same thing to me. And my GPA was good, because he said that I had a lot of friends that went to him too for like just becoming doctors or anything really, and they had a lower GPA, and he's very aggressive about, I don't know, it's kind of weird. You think that they would be more encouraging, since they are the health science people.
Okay. You're going to be a great PA, but I'm glad we got to work with you, and again, congratulations.
Okay, thank you so much for everything. I meant what I said. I really don't think that I would have gotten an interview invite without, or done well in the interview without your guys' help. So
Our pleasure.
thank you.